Hello my friends, and welcome. This is a video that I made of Leap Castle in Coolderry, in deepest Thailand. Leap Castle is situated 6 kilometers north of the town of Roscrea. I was there as a guest of my good friend Shelley and her daughter Caóimhe, who are 2 members of an amazing paranormal investigation team. There are varied accounts as to when exactly the main keep was constructed, ranging anywhere from the 13th to the late 15th century, but it is most likely to have been built in the year 1250. It was built by the O'Bannon clan, and was originally called Leap of the O'Bannons. The O'Bannons were the secondary chieftains of the territory and were subject to the ruling clan, the O'Carrolls. There is evidence that it was constructed on the same site as another ancient stone structure, perhaps ceremonial in nature, and that area has been occupied consistently since at least the Iron Age, and possibly even since Neolithic times. The annals of the Four Masters recorded that the Earl of Kildare, Gerald Fitzgerald, tried unsuccessfully to seize the castle in 1513. 3 years later he attacked the castle again. And this time he managed to partially demolish it. However, by 1557 the O'Carrolls had regained possession of the castle. Following the death of Mulrooney O'Carroll, in 1532, family struggles plagued the O'Carroll clan. A fierce rivalry for the leadership erupted within the family. The bitter fight for power turned brother against brother. One of the brothers was a priest. While he was holding mass for a group of his family, in what is now called the Bloody Chapel, his rival brother burst into the chapel, plunged his sword into him and fatally wounded him. The butchered priest fell across the altar and died in front of his family. One of the most treacherous slayings that took place at Leap Castle was of the murder of 40 members of the MacMahon clan from Monaghan, who had been hired by the O'Carrolls to train them in new methods of warfare. In celebration of their victory over a rival clan by the O'Carrolls, the MacMahon men were invited to attend the feast at the castle. What they didn't know was that their employers had poisoned their food, so as to avoid having to pay them. The ghosts of the MacMahon men are said to haunt the castle to this day. In 1659 the castle passed by marriage into the ownership of the Darby family. During the tenure of Jonathan Charles Darby, seances were held in the castle by his wife, Mildred, who was a writer of Gothic novels. This led to publicity about the castle and its ghosts. During the Civil War Jonathan Darby hid vast treasures in the grounds of the castle. The 2 servants who helped him were later murdered, to guarantee their silence. During renovation work done to the castle in the 1900s, workers found an oubliette behind a wall in the chapel. At the bottom of the shaft were many human skeletons amassed on wooden spikes. When cleaned out, it took 3 cartloads to remove the bones. It is believed that the O'Carrolls would drop guests through the trapdoor to be impaled on the spikes 8 feet below. A small gold pocket watch found at the same time, dating from the mid-1800s, shows how recently the dungeon may have been used. Today, the dungeon is now covered over in order to keep people away. In 1974, the now ruined castle was bought by Australian historian Peter Bartlett, whose mother had been a Bannon. Bartlett, together with builder Joe Sullivan, carried out extensive restoration work on the castle, up to the time of Peter's death in 1989. Since 1991, the castle has been privately owned by world-renowned musician Sean Ryan and his wife Anne, who continue the restoration work. The castle has on many occasions been described as the world's most haunted castle. A ghost known as the Red Lady is reported to walk the halls holding a dagger. two little girls named Charlotte and Emily are reported to run up and down a spiral staircase. Emily died after she fell from the battlements on the top of the castle's tower, and Charlotte can still be seen running around after her sister, and calling her name. The castle is allegedly haunted by a sinister elemental spirit referred to as it. The creature was described by Mildred Darby as being about the size of a sheep, with a human face, black holes for eyes and a nose, and giving off the smell of a rotting corpse. The castle has been visited by paranormal investigators including ABC's Scariest Places on Earth and Living TV's Most Haunted, as well as the Atlantic Paranormal Society from Sci-Fi's Ghost Hunters. In August 2014, Travel Channel's Ghost Adventures filmed their 10th season Halloween special at the castle. And most recently by Paranormal Investigation YouTube channel, Sam and Colby. And as featured in this video, with Paranormal Adventure Ireland. Please check out their YouTube channel, at Paranormal Adventures Ireland. During my night in the castle I experienced several unexplained happenings. After about 10 minutes inside the castle, I felt what I can only describe as a small child's hand brushing past me as I stood in the downstairs reception room. On the next floor up, in the Great Hall, I heard a harp playing which was situated directly beside me, and although I could clearly hear the harp play, the strings did not seem to move. I also seen a shadow figure of a woman walk down a small stairwell in the same room. During our time there the paranormal team used a spirit box. My name was called out and a specific word, that only I could relate to, was also spoken. I sincerely believe this was a message from my dear old dad, John. And that, my friends, is all from me. Please enjoy the rest of this video, as I continue my walk around the beautiful interior of this, the world's most haunted castle. Thank you for watching and goodbye for now.